So, good afternoon, everyone. So, today we are going to discuss on course cloud resource management and scheduling algorithms, how we can manage the resources in the cloud environment. So, these are the content we are going to discuss that scheduling algorithms in resource management and policies and mechanisms and the different applications related to cloud resource allocations. And then we'll discuss some low-level, two-level resource allocation architecture, and then scheduling algorithms, how we can schedule the resources, and what is the utility-based models in cloud web services, and related some examples how we can integrate different models with cloud-based web services, and so here we are having a critical function that we can made by man system. So we have different basic criteria are there in resource management and scheduling. So here, if you consider some resources, suppose if you take the example of traveling salesman, okay, traveling salesman problem, or that is a traveling salesman means no, no. So there is a traveling management system. So suppose I want to travel from Hamirpur to different places, and I am assume that each task. Okay, so I want to go. I want to travel from Hamirpur to Jaipur. There is a different way of links we can reach to the Jaipur. So here in this traveling planner we are having there is a different task, different roles. Okay, so if you consider that from by road link you can also approach to the Jaipur, or you can go by rail link, or you can go by air link. Different different links are there, you can reach to the Jaipur. Okay, here you can assume that there are the different services, service providers are there. Okay, so you just assume that your traveling is one task. Okay, and there are different links, rail link or flight link or other links are there, your individual task, and each task having their associated with the different systems. Okay, providers, service providers. You can say that. Suppose if I consider that this Airlink, so there are several services that Indigo is there, in Air India is there, Kingfish means different flight reservation systems are there, and each system having individual service providers. Okay, so here we want to allocate different. We are having different tasks, and each task need to allocate with a different subtask. Okay, to satisfy your constraints, there are you are having different constraints, so you need to satisfy individual constraints and individual tasks. And you can fulfill your requirement. Your requirement is you have to reach the Jaipur. So here in scheduling in computer system, we are having different allocations of system, that is CPU cycles, memory, second storage space, IO and network bandwidth, and between the users and tasks. And for this resource allocations, how we can allocate the resources? Is there any policies are required, or any rules and regulations are required to allocate this scheduling in a computer system? So we need some policies. That policy gives the decisions, that give the principles which is having in a policy, that gives the decisions that you have to allocate this particular resources into this particular system. Okay, and different mechanisms also there, how to implement the this scheduling and is having different implementation policies. So why people are looking into this main motivation required that here is it requires complex policies and decision for multi-objective optimization, and it is having several challenging tasks, that is complexity of system. It takes more and more time to complete the task to and it is affected by unpredictable interaction with the environment. That is, suppose you are allocating some task into the systems, there is a system failure, or there is a um, uh, security attacks also, attacks also happen. So there is a different unpredictable interactions affected, and cloud service providers are faced with huge fluctuation loads with a challenging climb of cloud elasticity. So for the strategy, we are having different managements for infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So, what are the different policies we are having for cloud resource management? That is administration control. So, in administration control, it prevents the system from accepting the workload in valuation of high-level system policies. So next level is what is the capacity of the systems? Okay. So what is the capacity allocations? That is also we need to frame a policy. So it means that it allocates the resources for individual activations of the service. And similarly, we are having different load balancing systems. So it represents that distribute the workload evenly among the servers. And we are also look into the energy consumptions. So in that phase, what happens? Suppose you want to run some task into the system. Okay, so there are several services, and the services are running in different physical system. So it consumes a lot of energy. So we want to avoid those things. We need to adopt the VMs where we can run our alternate program workload, and the remaining load will be eliminated so that we can minimize the energy consumption. And also, we are talking about the quality of service guarantees. Means that this what are the cloud services you are taking, that cloud services needs to satisfy your constraints. Okay, so your constraints are like we are having a minimum span of time. You have to execute your workload, and you need to complete as early as possible, and we need to avoid the energy consumption. So these are the different aspects there. Parameters are there to satisfy users requirement as also service level agreement. So here, so we are having different mechanisms for implementation of resource management policies, control theory. So by control theory, we can give the different feedbacks to guarantee system stability and predict the transit behavior. And also we can use machine learning models. It needs performance model of the system, and we are also required utility based models that requires a performance model and mechanism to correlate user level performance with the cost. And market oriented and economical oriented needs do not require a model of the system, that is community options for a bundle of resources. So what is the trade-off? Trade-off means to reduce the cost and save the energy. We may need to concentrate the load on fewer servers rather than balancing of load among them. So we are having different loads, and we need to balance them in equality. So we need to so here, when you are balancing loads, that time we need to we need to save the energy, and here we also need to operate the lower clock rate, and the performance decrease the lower than the then does the energy. So different CPU speeds and having normalized energy, and what is the performance of the CPU speeds. If you consider 2.0, then normalized energy is 0.990, and normalized performance is 0.99. So, control theory application to cloud resources management. The main components of this control system, that is inputs and different components, control system components and outputs. So, what we will take into the inputs, um, the these inputs means the offered workloads and policies for admission control and capacity of all allocations, load balancing, energy optimization, and guarantee in the QS guarantees in the cloud. So, what are the different components are there in into the control theory application? Sensor used to estimate the relevant measures of performance and controllers which implement various policies. And what is the output or the resource allocation to the individual applications? Those are different applications. And what are the feedback and stability that control graduality, that is that level of details of the information used to the control the system. So we have two different controls, that is fine and coarse control. And the meaning of the fine control is very detailed information about the parameter controlling the system state in the state is used. And cost control is the accuracy of the these parameters state for the efficiency of implementation. Okay, so here the controller use the feedback provided by the sensors to stabilize the system, and the stability is related to change of the outputs. So here we are having the sources of instability in this any control system, that is delaying getting the system reaction after controlling of action, and wherein graduality of the control, that fact that the small change enacted by the controller lead by very large change of the output, and oscillations that when the change of input are too large and the control is too weak, such that the changes of input propagate directly to the outputs. So this is a controller structure. When you are giving the different uh, inputs, that is traffic, international traffic, and it goes to the predict filter and forecast, and it use this controller is used to give the feedback regarding the current state and estimation of failure disturbance due to environment to compute the optimal inputs over the final origins. So here the this predictor filter gives work out on the external traffic and forecast that, and this optimal controller gives different weight factors to perform the index, and it gives the dynamic queuing, and it gives a feedback to the optimal controller. So here we are having two level of controller, that is cloud platform. We are having the different applications, and that application controller it up to n terms where SLA will be applicable, and we are having cloud controller, and this is a cloud platform which is having different application is used different VMs. So here, suppose you are adding application one, and we are having different VMs with different parameters. So those parameter monitoring decision and actuators. So these are the different parameters, and we are having different VMs here. So here, the actions of control system should be carried out in a rhythm that does not lead to instability, and adjustments should only be carried out after performance of the system has stabilized. We're having two thresholds, that is upper and lower threshold are set, then instability occurs when there are too close to another one another. If a variation of workload are large enough and the time required to adapt does not allow the system to stabilize. So here we are having the options that is consist of allocation and deallocation of one or more VMs, that is virtual machine. Sometimes the allocation or deallocation of single virtual machine require one of the threshold may cause of the other another source of instability. So we are having a control theory application to this CRM to it regulates the key operation parameters of system based on measurement of system outputs, and it will be take the feedback controller, assume say linear time invariant system model and closed loop controller, and the system transfer functions satisfy the stability and sensitivity of constraints, and we are giving some threshold. Based on that threshold the parameter relates to the state of system that triggers a change in the system behavior, and the thresholds keep the critical parameter of the system in a predefined range, and we have two policies in that, that is threshold based and sequential decisions. So we are having two lower and upper bounds on performance trigger updations to resource reallocation. Such policies are simple and intuitive, but require setting pair application threshold. And when you are taking the sequential decision, we have different approach, that is Markovian decision models. Um, so design decisions, it's beneficial to two type of controllers, that is application controllers and cloud controllers. When you are considering the application controllers, it determines the additional if additional resources are needed, and cloud controller are arbitrate requires for resources and allocate the physical resources. So when we are having different threshold values, and we can use the algorithm that compute the integral value of high and low thresholds as average of maximum and respectively the minimum process utilization over the process history. So when the request additional to the VMs, when the average value of CPU's utilization over the current timeline exceeds the high threshold. So release VM when the average value of CPU utilization over the current time slice fall below the low threshold. So here when you are coordinating power and performance measures, so then here the power and performance measures two main and also the main objectives in terms of when you are using different physical machines, when you are working on different workloads, so we need to find out how many systems are utilizing the server, utilizing the power, and also we need to find out what is the performance of the system. So these two parameters is considered as utility functions. We can say these parameters as fitness functions, and this use the manager to modify only accept input from the power manager regarding the frequency determined according to the power management policy. So if you see this example, we are having different performance manager, and we are having the workload generator. We are giving workload, and here what happened? The workload is distributed and is sent to the different blades, and we are having power assignment, how much of power is consuming each blade when the data is created, and the data is stored in different servers, and that servers we can say that blade. So here autonomous performance and power manager cooperate to ensure prescribed performance and energy optimization. They are fed with the performance and power data, and implement the performance and power management policies. So here The power manager will apply the some control policies and power policies also they will take out and how the uh, performance manager role is here to find out the what how the data is performed, whether the data is executed or the workload is completed within a span of time and how much of time it is consuming. So these are so next, utility-based model for cloud-based web services, you can say that we are having different cloud services. So here we will specify we are having some service level agreement that suppose the policy or some providers are giving the boost, giving the means that it satisfy the user requirement or not. So in the service level agreement, what happened is specify the rewards as well as the penalty associated with the specific parameter metric. So here the cloud-based web service use the average response time to reflect the quality of service. So if you take the cloud-based web services, so you need to find out quality of service. Means here the quality of service for QoS cloud-based services having response time of the cloud, the execution time, availability, reliability, or price, how much of price. So many researchers works on QoS parameters, means QoS factors of cloud-based web services, and they use different applications. Okay, and they use different applications and different mathematical model, and they find out the this cloud service is best compared to other services. So I will show one example. No, I will show that this is article later on. So here we assume that a cloud providing k different classes of service. Each classes k involve nk applications, and these are nk applications. Uh, Yeah, NK applications. The system model as a network of queue with multiple queues for each server. Okay, so in this case, you can use different mathematical models. Okay, and you can say that this particular cloud service is best, and this cloud service will give the best performance. So just a minute. I want to explain one small example so that you can understand how we can the cloud services are selected. So here, this is a cell cloud model. Means we here we have developed a new multi-criteria decision making model, flood selection of cloud services. So here we are consider different uh, QS parameters. Okay, so this is the example. Suppose the XYZ large scale organization in the world, and they are planning to implement a flexible and innovative customer centric services to improve its efficiency and attract to the customers. The institution offers various services to the customers behind core services. Okay, so that is payment service and customer. Yesterday I have explained XYZ Bank in India. Okay, they want to provide different core services. So this is the one of the example for that one. So we have to find out the following regions that cloud cost reducing improvement in flexibility and scalability, increase openness to the innovation, and better customer relation model. So these are the different uh, different parameters, okay, to provide cloud services to the end users. So here we can see that the looking for infrastructure as a service, and we are having different IaaS service providers, Amazon, HP, Microsoft, Raspberry. So these are the different cloud services, and we are having different QS parameters, that is price, performance, processing performance, IoT operations consistency, disk storage performance, memory performance. So here we are having different services, and we are having different so this is a model here. This is the cloud service model. So here we are having a service depository, and this is a service cloud service providers, and we are integrate with the cloud broker. There, the two process will be happen. That is information filtering service and selection of service. And also we are taking the cloud consumers that we need to select the particular cloud service, so it will goes into the broker, and here the cloud broker is integrated with means it will take the services from the service repository, is retrieve the services from service repository, and it will be the final, this cloud broker is recommended to the cloud consumer. This particular service provider is best cloud service provider. So we use AHP model to give user performance, means user inputs, such that the cloud broker will select this particular cloud service, and it's recommend to the cloud uh, cloud consumer. So here we are having different cloud services with different processing. We have calculated different performance, and finally the service that A12, that is Amazon XYZ cloud services, best cloud service providers among several cloud services. So, so there are many resources work on how we can select the particular cloud service such that it fulfill our requirement. Okay, so this is different utility functions. Then in our case, our utility function is we use the AHP model to give the user input, and we use great topsys, that is a multi-criteria decision making problems algorithm. We integrate and we have developed new model. So we got a new service, means among n number of services, this particular service, cloud service is best. So we are having different services, and we have used utility function, and then we will find out the best output. So resource bundling is here. Resources in cloud are allocated in bundles. So user get maximum benefit from the specific combination of resources, that is CPU cycles, main memory, disk space, network bandwidth, and other parameters. And this resource bundling um, complicates traditional resource allocation models, and has generated an interest in economical models, and in particular in auction algorithms. And then we optimize, by binding process aims to optimize an objective function. So we will form a objective function, and we will give any algorithm, so that algorithm work on that objective function, and it will be evaluate the best cloud services. So here we use the combinatorial options for cloud resources, that user provide bids for desirable bundles and price they are willing to pay. Okay, then prices and allocations are set as a result of auction. So when you are using the ascending clock auction, the current price for each resource is represented by a clock seen by all the participants in a auction. So here the algorithm involves user binding in multiple rounds to address this problem. The user proxies automatically adjust their demands on the behalf of actual BIM. So here we are having different proxies, users U1, U2, U3, and up to UU, and proxies, and it's having some weights. So, and auctioneer, this is the model, and this model having some fitness function, and finally we'll get the best model. So in this algorithm, pricing and allocation algorithm partition a set of users into two disjoint sets, losers and winners. And in this case, the computationally traceable means the traditional combinatorial accession algorithms are used, and that is example VLG are not computationally traceable. So scale well, be objective, be fair. Immediately you will get the output. So we have different cloud scheduling algorithm when you are looking for resource allocation, either task scheduling or either VM placements. And if you want to find out the energy consumption. There are several algorithms are available. Okay, so for the scheduling, what is the responsible resources sharing at several levels? The server can shade among several VMs, and the virtual machine could support several applications, and application may consist of multiple threads. So this algorithm used it should be efficient, fair, and derivation free. And the objective of scheduler are, if you are taking the batch system, then what we'll look into this is the maximum. What is the objective here is maximize the throughput and minimize the turnaround time. So this is the objective for batch system. When you are taking the real-time system, it meets the deadline and be predictable. So here the common algorithm are used so far, that is round robin, first come first serve, and shortest job first, and priority based algorithms. These are the operating system algorithms. If these algorithms are used, and they have many researchers are work on these algorithms, and they try to schedule the cloud in clouds and schedulers, and then they work on how the data is placed into the cloud and how the task is scheduling, and how VMs are scheduled, and how the QS parameters are consumed, means how to evaluate the QS parameters, how to evaluate the energy consumption. So these are the most popular algorithms are used so far, and many researchers are much interested in this area, and also they use different meta heuristic method, that is bio-inspired algorithm. Also we can call as swarm intelligence based algorithm. Those algorithms are very much in look. It's very here what happened, the heuristic methods, this first come first job scheduling, these models are gives the appropriate solutions, but it requires many more time complexity and more time. So the researchers are looking into the bio-inspired algorithms and swarm intelligence based algorithms to get the near optimal solutions, and within a minimum time. So people are looking into those research applications. If you see the here, many multimedia applications also there, that audio and video streaming, and it's soft real time constant, and they are require statistical guaranteed maximum delay and throughput, and it's a real-time application or hard real constraints and scheduling algorithm for real-time application, that is EDF, that is earliest deadline first, rate monolithic algorithms, and resource allocation dispatching. So these are the different applications are available. And what are the best policies we are having here? Do not impose requirement regarding either the amount of resource allocation allocated to the application or timing when the application is scheduled. So we also having different soft requirement policies that require statistically guaranteed amount and timing constraint. Hardware requirement policies that policies are strict timing and price amount of resources. So these are the different pair queuing methods to schedule the multiple class through a stage and start when you are organize the consumers of CPU bandwidth in a tree structure. Okay, and this root node is the processor, and leaves of the this tree are the threads, and the threads of each application. When you are taking a VM is not active, its bandwidth is reallocated at the other VMs active at the time. And when one of the application of VM is not active, its allocation is um, transferred to other application running on the same VM. So these are the tree-based scheduling. When two VMs are V1 and VM1 and VM2, and there is then we'll look into the borrowed virtual time. This is one of the objective, that is support low latency dispatching of real-time application and weighted sharing of CMU, CPU among several classes of applications. So here it is support a low latency. If you want to increase the latency, you want to increase the latency. No researchers are looking into the fog environment where we can overcome the low latency to high, means you will find good results in latency terms. And here the a thread I has an effective virtual time, that is EI, and actual virtual time AI, and virtual time wrap is WI. Then the scheduler maintain its own scheduler virtual time defined as a minimal actual virtual time of any thread. So these threads are dispatched into the order of their effective virtual time policy called earliest virtual time. So this is a different way. So you can this is a thread. It started 12 and then it is started. So this is the way. So we have different top and bottom schedulers, that is virtual startup time and virtual finish time. The actual the function of real time T for each activation of thread A and B, and the bottom one is the virtual time of the scheduler be it a function of real time. So we are having different effective virtual time and real time. So the graph is given, it's linearly increasing. So so there we are having different deadlines. This is also suppose your VM or your say workload is started 1 minute. It's having a time constraint that it should be complete into the 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So we need to use deadlines. That is, if the task is not completed by the deadline, other task will depends on its. It may be affected, and there are penalties. A hard deadline is restricts and express precisely as milliseconds or possibly seconds. And we have the soft deadlines, that is guideline. In general, there are no penalties. Soft deadlines can be missed by fractions of the units used by the express them. So a minute if the deadline is expressed in hours, or hours if the deadline is expressed in days. we consider only aperiodic tasks with arbitrary divisible workload. So we have two partitions rules, that is optimal partition rules and equal partition rules. The workload is partitioned to ensure the earliest possible completion time, and all tasks are required to complete at the same time. Equal partition rules that assign equal workload to individual workers nodes. So these are the workloads and partitions. So we'll have some other stuff I want to discuss with you, that if you see other methods who are work on different different platforms. So if you take, this is the one task scheduling algorithm in cloud environment. People or researchers are working on different models or algorithms that here the authors discuss about. They are using enhanced particle swarm optimization model for task scheduling in cloud computing environment. So here we are having different tasks, okay, and each task having different the subtasks. So here they are considered the this is the fitness function, that is expected execution time of the your. So if you are taking, n is number of tasks, m is number of virtual missions, xij is divisible variable of allocation ti to vmj, and this is expected execution time and expected transmission time, and this is expected round trip time, and these are the memory allocations. So they have formed different mathematical mode. They have formed a objective function. If you take these tasks are mapped with the VMs, virtual machines. This is a task. This is mapped with this one. This is mapped with this one, and so each task have different virtual machines. If you take V1 to V10, and each one, sorry, there is task T1 to T10, and each task T1 is allocated by Vn times, that is V1 to Vn times the number of virtual machines, and T2 task also having different virtual machines. They have adopted this task, means they map each task with the number of VMs, and this integrated together, and they work on the expected round trip time as their objective utility function they work on. So they have different approaches, and they work on the different algorithm. They find out, they find their model is gives best results than other models. So this is one more research article they published recently in cluster computing. Just I am giving the just I am giving the examples how the researchers works into task scheduling problem in cloud environment by using swarm intelligence models. So here we are having people are work on particle sum optimization model with some changing method, um, and if you see here problem formation, they are having big data application hosted into the cloud environment, and the workflow consists of n tasks, that is t1 to tn tasks, and is these tasks are scheduled with m number of vms, that is vm, v1, v2, vm, up to vm times virtual machine, and the viable solution X represents the VM to VMs to assign to the task. For example, if you take n equal 5, okay, so we are having T1 to T5 task. And if you having m is equal 3, that such the means that you are having 3 virtual machines. Then if x equal, the first task is assigned with virtual machine 3, and second task is allocated with the second virtual machine. Third task is allocated by by first virtual machine, and T4 is 2 and T5 is with 3. So it's mapping together. So if you see this example, you are having V1, V2, V3. This is your virtual machine, and these are the your tasks. And how to map means T1 is mapped with this one, T5 is mapped with this one, T4 mapped with the virtual machine this one, and this. So if you consider the task T4, then T4 is allocated with virtual machine 2. So your workload is executed in virtual machine 2. So they have frame if objective function. That of your objective function is total time of see total time of processing of all tasks assigned to jet VMs. This is their virtual, this is minimize the time. So this is their objective function, and they are having the cost some constraint, then deploy into the particle swarm optimization model, and they work on it, and they got very good results. So this is they are having, this is cloud providers, they are having the PSO based scheduler, and this is different users and execution to be executed. These are the requirement. There means user requirement they give given to the this computing, that is cloud provider, and scheduler, and they work on it, and different resources are available. Allocate the and schedule that, and this particular cloud service is best, and they work on different GA and ABC and particle from optimization model, and they in similar way many researchers work on how to scheduling the algorithms such that they can if you want to see what is the next generation of cloud computing, this is a very good article. It was recent in 2018. It was published with Rajkumar Bhuya. So you can see different applications and how different next generation models are available, and different problems are also you will find in this article, and where means upcoming challenges in a cloud environment and fog environment. Okay, you will find it, and how to give the solutions also you will find it in that article. So be you search for n number of means you if you go and search many papers which already work on how to schedule the task, how to place the VM placements, and how to reduce the energy consumption, and and so this is the session, today's session.
Participants, if you have any query, please ask them in a chat box.
Please note, sir, please note down the queries so I can give the reply. I'm not visible people's comments, queries on chat box.
I think no any
Okay,
query, sir.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much giving this
Thank you.
opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Participants, kindly join next session at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.